Hey, I just want to record a few minutes of actually the process of going through the simulation. Yeah, as you notice, there's way more frames in this stage. That's because I have a setting to adjust the frequency at which the objects get actually the movement gets calculated. And I'm not sure exactly how that works, but that's what it does. And there is also a frequency for the recording. So I usually set the recording frequency a lot a lot lower because it requires a lot of hard drive space, and I don't have that much. Um, so and also the compression rate, it's not that quick. Either way, this is actually how it looks like during the process. And also I want to point out a few things now. I'm recording this with an engine speed of well, exactly this, 466.6. So even so, it kind of seems a lot of RPM. Now that we can actually see how everything goes, you can see that it's actually not that much of a speed. Um, and I suspect that this thing, real machine, when everything it's set up properly and everything works fine, they actually go really fast. But there's also an issue because the faster they go, even though they kind of generate more power due to the angular momentum formula and the mass, the I think amplitude is called. The amplitude of the wave that they generate, it becomes a lot shorter, so it would require very fine teeth, which in turn would generate an engineering problem, um, because the stress of the material would be very high on a very fine piece of metal. So that's that. He definitely used metal for these parts. I guess the axle was wood. I mean, we know that the axle was wood for the most part. He most likely used kind of similar, but not like this. What like this uh, small fine poles. I will look into actually coming up with some alternative design to this. But yeah, this ratchet system and the teeth and all this definitely was made of some good quality steel. Uh, I don't know. I mean, it depends on the mass that he was actually using. If there was a lot of mass behind that, it would actually require quite durable still, but if not, if the mass would not be that much on the weights themselves, that wouldn't actually be much of a problem. I think you could get away with some good wood if uh, if the speeds are not that high and you can get some pulp into those teeth. Or I don't know, hard to say. Yeah. Well, as you can see, it goes pretty slow. So I'll just keep recording until I get to the 10-minute mark or so. Hopefully we'll see a passing, right? Because right now the crossbar should actually start getting higher and higher on the frame disposition. I do have some issues with this this trigger mechanism, because they kind of get bounced high on top, and it takes a bit for them to come down. Um, there's definitely a better solution to this. It's probably something that requires some mild spring power just to push them back fast, right? So they can uh, grab before everything gets into the other half cycle. So there's nothing wasted there. Uh, Also, something else that is required and would be very useful, uh, as you've seen in the first model that I've presented, there are some springs here, which after watching this simulation, I think they're not absolutely necessary, but they're they're quite a good addition to this machine, because the climbing, it's not happening uh, exactly at the proper moment. Um, there are some other tricks that can be employed. I've showed in a past video when I was talking about the prime mover in the prime mover series about the mechanical resonance, and that plays quite a big role into all of this. And also the radius of these gears, or the hammers, the original hammers, the new gears. The radius of this, of the weight itself, of the heaviest point on them, plays again a big role on the amplitude that's generated when everything spins. So yeah, you can see the machine actually gets the falling of the crossbar is actually generated by the shifting of the weight itself. It kind of coincides with the spinning of the hammer. So yeah, well, everything now goes sideways. Um, yeah. So basically, uh, yeah, it needs springs for way better performance. And the spring should be discharged somewhere within this angle the way it's rotating right now. So when this side comes around here somewhere, everything shoots up, it locks, with and then continues to climb until a cycle is reset. But yeah, I'm like 100% certain that this is how he did it. Uh, Not sure what to make out of all this. Hmm. Is it a perpetual motion machine, or is it something that is extraordinarily efficient into preserving and discharging the tension stored into the springs? Because remember, the first machine and not the second one would start immediately, so it would always get locked into the proper position, and not like I show into the demonstration. I start from a neutral position, and the discs need to work out a bit to push the weight on one side to actually start the process. But when you actually start from a loaded position, it's actually quite easy to use that torque to get the disc spinning and get the whole cycle going. It's actually pretty simple. Okay, I'm like 13 minutes into this video, and yeah, well, yeah, I mean, if you've been doing researching into Bessler and you've tried to make machines and you've seen all this and you still have doubts, it's understandable, but you should come to terms very fast and actually start to build a proper machine or help with the research or something. So this is it. Okay, goodbye.